Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rabbi Cass. I'm a sofer in Monsey, New York, and you can find me online at sofercenter.com. So today's video we're going to talk about how to properly put away the tefillin and wrap them after you are done using them. You may have heard the expression to wrap the tefillin like a dove wings. So I'm going to show you today how to do that, and we're also going to talk about why it is the custom to wrap the tefillin in the fashion to represent the dove wings. The reason is, it comes from a Gemara. The Gemara Masechta Shabbos, the Gemara is talking about when you wear the tefillin, you have to have a guf naki, which means a clean body. And the Gemara says, a clean body like Elisha Baal Kanafayim. And the Gemara goes into explain what exactly does mean a clean body. And then the Gemara comes back to Elisha. The Gemara says, how did he get his name, Baal Kanafayim, the owner of the wings, so to speak? How did he get that name? So the Gemara says, well, Elisha was living in a time of Jewish history where the Jews were under Roman occupation, and the Romans made a gezerah, a decree, that Jews are not allowed to wear tefillin anymore. And if they did wear the tefillin, they would get smashed in their brains, and the spot where the tefillin is basically means they would be killed. So Elisha said, no Roman's going to tell me how to live my life, and no Roman's going to tell me which mitzvahs I could do, which mitzvahs I can't do. And not only he didn't stop wearing the tefillin, but he defiantly went out into the marketplace wearing his tefillin. The Gemara says that when he went out to the marketplace, he was spotted by one of the code enforcers, a Roman soldier, in the marketplace, and the Roman soldier saw Elisha wearing his tefillin, and the Gemara says Elisha started running, and the soldier started running after him, and eventually he caught up with him. But before he caught up with him, Elisha took off his tefillin, and he hid it in his hand. And Elisha, and when the soldier comes to me, he says, "What's in your hands?" Elisha says, "Nothing, just pigeon wings, you know." And the soldier says, "Open your hands." And he opened his hands, and God made a miracle for him and transformed the tefillin into pigeon wings. Because Elisha had such a devotion, such a dedication to his mitzvah, God performed a miracle for him and saved his life for the tefillin. So, in order to remember this story, we wrap our tefillin every day when we put away our tefillin. We want to remember the sacrifice that Elisha, that the dedication that he had to his tefillin, and we wrap the tefillin like Kanfei Yona to remember this story about Elisha. Now, what's interesting is for people in today's generation who might find this story hard to understand, because, I mean, tefillin are quite large. Look at this. This is a pair of tefillin, standard size, 35 millimeter tefillin today. I mean, how do you hide this in your hands? How do you hide it? It's big. It's large. So you have to realize that tefillin can be made larger and smaller. Obviously, it's harder to write the tefillin smaller, but there were periods of Jewish history where tefillin had to be made very, very small. And I actually have a pair of tefillin which I'm going to show you in a moment, but I want to give you a little bit more background and history about tefillin, especially small pairs of tefillin like this. There's a book. It's called I Believe. It's written by Leo Zisman, and in it he writes that basically I might not remember all details of the story exactly, but the gist of it is that his bar mitzvah was around the time when the Holocaust started, and his father wanted him to have a pair of tefillin that he could take with him, and he had a very small pair of tefillin, and his father basically got him a larger pair of boots, and he was able to keep the tefillin in his boots, and he had them throughout the Holocaust. I don't know if he had them the whole time. I think maybe he gave them away at some point, but basically he says over there that he had a pair of tefillin which was really, really small, and he kept them in his boot, and I guess they used them in the concentration camps and so on. And when I heard that story, when I read that story, and when I learned the story in the Gemara, you know, you wonder how small are tefillin that they could fit in a boot, or you could hide it in your hands and nobody should see it. So I had a couple of years ago a rabbi, in the area over here in Monsey, who didn't have a pair of tefillin for a bar mitzvah boy, and he was trying to create a pair of tefillin, so he brought me the shemus from the shul, sitting around for I don't know how many years, you know. And when he put the bags down, it was like a dust flying in the office. And I was looking through the tefillin, and I found these tefillin here. This is the Shel Rosh. If you look inside, you can see there's parshias in there. They're all faded out, but this is a pair of tefillin. It's not much bigger than my thumb. And the cases that these come in, it's not a plastic case made in China. This is real. You see the bottom lip is bigger than the upper lip. Okay, this is made by what we call a blecher, a blacksmith, a tinsmith, somewhere in Europe. I don't know the story of these tefillin. Of course, when I found them, I asked the rabbi if I can have them, and he said sure. I don't know the story of these tefillin, but I am certain, I feel certain that somebody risked their lives for these tefillin. You know, they say about, now it's coming up Hanukkah, they say that when you watch the menorah, when you look at the menorah, you're supposed to listen to the story of the candles, the story of the miracle of Hanukkah. When I look at these tefillin, I try to listen to the story. I don't know what the story is, but whose tefillin was these, and what level of sacrifice did they have to endure in order to hold on to these tefillin, and they put them on in secrecy, perhaps. I don't know, but this is a tefillin. These small tefillin, I keep them with me in the office. And I show it to every bar mitzvah boy that comes through the office, because I want them to understand that, you know, we take for granted our tefillin sometimes, or we could take for granted our tefillin. You know, you have it, you put it on, you take it off, you daven. How much do you focus on it? When we realize that how Jews have sacrificed their lives to wear the tefillin throughout the generations, to carry on from one generation to the next, it gives us a deeper appreciation and a deeper understanding of the tefillin. So, and that's why we wrap the tefillin like Kanfei Yona, to remember the sacrifice that Elisha had, and not just Elisha. I mean, like these small pair of tefillin represent also somebody. I mean, took these with them from pre-war, you know, Europe, and brought them here and wore them. And I don't even know whose tefillin these are, but they can't be worn anymore because they're no longer kosher. They're faded, but they still have a mission. And the mission is to explain and educate future generations on the importance of wearing the tefillin. Okay, so today's video, we're going to focus mainly on wrapping the tefillin according to the Chabad style. If you're wrapping Chabad, or if you're wrapping what I like to call Ashkenaz or Litvish, you're wrapping towards yourself, or Sefard, meaning what most Chassidim would wear, wrapping their style tefillin, not the Temani. I know some of the Sephardim have really elaborate ways to wrap the tefillin. I'm not going to be teaching how to do that today. So when you have your tefillin in front of you, the first thing you have to do when you're putting away your tefillin is to identify which is the head tefillin box and which is the hand tefillin box. And the way you do that is you look. You'll see the hand tefillin box has a special cutout on the side, and if you're right-handed, it's going to be here, and if you're left-handed, the cutout's going to be on the other side. The reason why the box has a cutout is because the way that the hand tefillin is different than the head tefillin. The head tefillin, the knot is far away from the actual box. The hand tefillin, the knot, it's very important that it actually be touching the tefillin, and when you put the tefillin in the box, you need to have room for the knot. Okay? So I figured out which one is the hand box, and it goes in just like that. And always make sure when you put away your tefillin, you handle them over a table to prevent them from, God forbid, falling down to the ground. Okay, so now I have the hand tefillin in the box. You can see how the knot fits that perfectly. Same thing with the head tefillin. Goes in the box just like this. And okay. So now, when you're wrapping the head tefillin, the way I was taught to do it, and the way a lot of people do it, is by putting the knot on the top. And there are many people who put the knot on the bottom. When you put the knot on the bottom, there's two disadvantages to that. One is the knot is constantly getting squished and rubbed when you pull it in and out of the tefillin, and that will wear down the knot, the retua, faster. And there are others who write that it's appropriate because the knot on the head tefillin is actually one of the letters that makes up God's name, right? We know on the head tefillin that on the tefillin we make up Shakai, Hashem's name. We have the shin on the box, then we have the daled in the knot. Here you can see the daled, and then we have the yud on the hand tefillin. See, here's the yud. That's a yud. So because the daled is one of the letters that makes up God's name, it's not appropriate to be put underneath the box. It's rather it should be on top of the box. So now this is true whichever knot you have. If it's a square, or which is also known as a double daled, or the single daled knot, I just put it on the back center over there. Then you have these two straps that go around the side of the head. You line them up one on top of the next, and you goes along the bottom just like that. As does this one here. Whoops, something's twisted. Okay. Then you take the same thing with these ones, these straps, and they go alongside. So if you look at the bottom, it's just like that. Okay. Then the rest is pretty simple. You take the left one here, you go along as many times as it is, along the side there. Then you take the right one, and as well also you go along the side, just like that. Okay, so that's how you put that. Now the hand tefillin. So this is the minhag of somebody who's wrapping towards themselves. If you're wrapping like with a knot of Minhag Sefard, the loop's gonna be on the other side, and I'm gonna show you how to wrap that one also. The shel rosh, basically, I'm not gonna show you again because it's the same. The knot doesn't affect the wrapping that much. But the shel yad here, so this one here, you could do it like this. You just leave it along the side. It doesn't put a lot of stress on it. I know some people that go like this, and they go around. Again, anything that puts stress on the strap, I like to avoid. So if I could do it like this, that it's not putting too much stress on the loop, that's the best. So like that, or you can have it along the side over here also. Okay, it's not very stressed. The tighter you pull the straps, the faster they'll wear out, the faster they'll develop cracks, and the faster they'll stretch. So you don't want to wrap it around the box too tight. Okay, so let's just do it like this, because this is the way a lot of people do it. They put it along the bottom, and you go around there, and then on the side. Now, depending how long your ritzua is, it will vary according to how many wraps you can get on each side. So on average, it's between 6, 7, and 8. So I don't know exactly how many this one is, but we'll try to go for 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once you get that up there, once you do that, then the next step is you basically go along the bottom, and then you go on to the other side. Okay? And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this one's 7 and 8. Sometimes it's 7 and 7, sometimes it's 6 and 6. If you figure it out with your tefillin, it'll be easier to wrap it from there going forward. And this is being wrapped along the length of the tefillin. Okay? So just like that. Now, when you look at this, this is what you call Kanfei Yona. Because if you ever saw a chicken, you have the body in the center and the wings on the side. Body in the center, wings on the side. So that's one way to wrap the tefillin, that each tefillin is its own Kanfei Yona, its own wings. There's another way to wrap the tefillin, and I don't judge. The truth is, there's no right way, there's no wrong way how to wrap the tefillin. But a lot of people all see they wrap the tefillin like this, and this is just the way they were taught. And if that's the way you were taught, you can do that. I don't really recommend this way so much, just because it puts a lot of stress on the ritzua. So I'm not going to actually teach you how to do it. I'm just going to show you what the end result is, because I want to explain this to you. So here you can see this is one way to wrap it, that the ritzua on the shel rosh is all on one side. Now this is a way the Chabad typically have the loop. Some people open the loop before they put it away, some don't. I'm just going to assume that it's closed. Okay, you just pull it up like that. If you have the Chabad knot, you put it up like that. Go across. Come under, back up, go along the left side, and then they'll go all the way, all on one side. So when you wrap the tefillin like this, when all the tefillin, the ritzua from the shoresh is on one side and all the ritzua from the shel yad is on the other side, so then you have what's called together, this is a Kanfei Yona. This will be one wing, this will be another wing, this is the Kanfei Yona, that you wrap the tefillin as a set. Sometimes people, they wrap the shoresh all on one side and then they wrap the shel yad on both sides, the same way we wrap the last shel yad. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll turn over, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So to my understanding, when somebody wraps a tefillin like this, it's neither here nor there. You have one Kanfei Yona and one of the other. Now again, this is not something which is invalidates the tefillin or in any way makes your putting on the tefillin less a lower level of fulfilling the mitzvah. But it is proper that if you're putting it away like Kanfei Yona, you should keep in mind that either you're doing them together as a set or each one as an individual Kanfei Yona. Okay, so I always wrap both my shel rosh and my shel yad. I wrap them both on both sides. So I put the knot in the middle like I showed you originally on both sides, and then the shel yad I do it like this, how I do it also on both sides. Now just very quickly, I'm going to show you somebody that wraps Minhag Sefard, where the loop is on the other side, and this is the tefillin already in the box. So you go like this. Okay, you pull the loop just along the bottom, just like that. Okay, no stress on the ritzua here on the loop. Okay, this is coming out, goes through, just like this. Hope you can see that. Okay, and then we're going to go along the side again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we go under and up on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this one was a little bit longer on the right. These are my loner tefillin. I always make sure that there's a lot of ritzua on them because I never know. Sometimes I have people coming with big arms and sometimes people coming with small arms. I want to make sure I have enough ritzua for everybody. Okay, so that's how you would wrap it, even with the loop on the opposite side of the kesher, for those who have the knot in the Minhag Sefard. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Till next video, take care. Bye-bye.